MauroFGuillen 2030, How Today's Biggest Trends Will Collide and Reshape the Future of Everything. Embark on a journey to explore the future as we dive into the world of 2030, How Today's Biggest Trends Will Collide and Reshape the Future of Everything by MauroFGuillen. Discover how diverse factors such as the decreasing birth rate, an aging population, the transformation of the middle class, and technological advancements are altering the global landscape. This book summary presents insights into where our societies are headed, revealing that crucial aspects like economic systems, work dynamics, and consumer behavior will evolve and reshape as we approach 2030.
The Looming Baby Drought. The Population Bomb, released in 1968, forewarned of an overpopulated Earth due to exponential human growth. However, the reality today shows a contrary motif, a potential baby drought. The decreased birth rate around the world will significantly alter our future demographics with far-reaching consequences on our society, economy, and environment. Countries like Brazil and Japan are already grappling with the question of who will provide caretaking and financial support for their aging generations. Factors contributing to the decline in birth rates include women prioritizing career establishment, decreased fertility rates due to later-in-life pregnancies, and less frequent sex. In sub-Saharan Africa, the population boom offers unique challenges and opportunities, challenging the narrative of the global baby drought. Western countries may need to reevaluate their immigration policies in light of this new reality and embrace the contributions of immigrants who can care for and financially support their elderly populations. The revolutionary publication, The Population Bomb, in 1968 painted a grim picture of Earth's future threatened by uncontrolled human expansion. Today, however, we are facing a contrasting prospect, a global baby drought. The shrinking birth rate will indelibly impact humanity's demographics. Since the 1970s, women in the U.S., for example, have had fewer than 2 children on average, insufficient to replace the existing populace. Despite benefiting the planet's strained resources, this decline presents economic challenges. Economic systems relying on successive generations to pay taxes for pension funds and care for the elderly are increasingly put under stress as governments worldwide question who will support the growing number of retirees. Why is the birth rate declining? Women's increasing participation in the workforce influences them to postpone starting families until they're established in their careers. Delayed pregnancies lead to fewer children as fertility decreases with age. Moreover, the frequency of sex has diminished as well. A study from the Archives of Sexual Behavior discovered that Americans had sex 9 times less per year in the 2010s compared to the 1990s, partly due to the influx of engaging digital distractions. Nonetheless, not every region witnesses declining birth rates. Africa's population of 1.3 billion is projected to reach 2 billion by 2038 and 3 billion by 2061, particularly in the sub-Saharan area. This population explosion will lead to 2 primary consequences. Firstly, the region relies heavily on imported food, which will push the development of agricultural markets and transform them into a potentially trillion-dollar industry, as suggested by the World Bank. Secondly, Western countries may need to reconsider their strict immigration policies. As domestic populations age, they may rely increasingly on the Global South's immigrant workforce to supply financial assistance and caretaking for their elderly residents. In essence, the anticipated baby drought poses considerable implications on our society, economy, and environment, emphasizing the need for adaptive policymaking and creative solutions moving forward. Capturing the gray market. The story of Philips Electronics demonstrates the potential of targeting the gray market or aging population. Founded in the Netherlands in 1891, the company achieved lasting success through innovative inventions. However, by the 1990s, Philips struggled against cheaper competitors from Asia. In 2011, Frans van Houten took over as CEO and shifted the company's focus to healthcare technology, driven by the world's growing elderly demographic. Today, people aged 60 and above hold more than half of the world's wealth. By 2030, there will be an additional 400 million individuals in this age group. The key message is that aging consumers will have more spending power than ever before. Companies should recognize that catering to this demographic presents a significant financial opportunity. One challenge is that many businesses fail to connect with older consumers. In the UK, 96% of people aged 50 and above feel neglected by corporations and marketing campaigns. To unlock the potential of the grey market, companies must craft targeted, aspirational messages and tailor their products and services to the evolving needs of this demographic. However, engaging this audience is not a simple task. Older consumers, with their wealth of life experience, may be skeptical of traditional advertising tactics. Thus, businesses must be forward-thinking and constantly adapt to their shifting preferences to seize this opportunity. For example, there is a demand for stylish yet functional products that cater to the unique requirements of mature consumers. Fashionable shoes with orthopedic support, or appliances specifically designed for people with reduced physical capabilities, demonstrate how companies can truly cater to this underserved market. Ultimately, providing products and services that appeal to seniors is not only a sound business strategy but also a necessary step in maintaining a healthy economy. By taking care of the aging population, businesses can drastically enhance their growth and long-term sustainability. The middle-class global shift. The middle classes have long played a crucial role in driving the economy through their spending, especially in Europe and the United States. However, stagnation has recently plagued these regions, as many middle-class jobs have been automated or outsourced. Meanwhile, Asia and the developing world are experiencing a rapid rise in middle-class members and consumer spending power, with around 100 million people joining the ranks annually. By 2030, Asia's middle classes, excluding Japan, could represent 50% of the world's consumer spending power. This imminent global middle-class shift promises to transform markets, opportunities, and lifestyles across the planet. In Asia and other developing regions, the burgeoning middle classes will likely elevate numerous homegrown companies such as Alibaba and Didi to global household names. However, businesses in the United States and Europe looking to enter these markets must adapt to the cultural preferences and norms of the local middle classes, or else face significant challenges. A glaring example of this kind of failure is Walmart's unsatisfactory expansion into South Korea and Brazil, where they disregarded local consumption habits and pushed unappealing products. To succeed, Western companies must thoroughly research and understand these new markets and develop strategies that cater to their target audiences. As the newly expanded middle classes in Asia and the developing world become wealthier, their consumption habits are expected to change. While they might accumulate more debt purchasing homes, vehicles, and luxury goods, the consequent global waste generation will increase, hence demanding innovative solutions for waste management and the promotion of sustainable practices. Conversely, the middle class in Europe and the United States may continue to dwindle. The Pew Research Center highlights that despite the increasing number of middle-class households in the U.S., their proportion relative to other socioeconomic groups has dramatically shrunk since the 1970s. This shift could cause the once aspirational Western middle-class lifestyle to lose its allure, as developing nations overtake their counterparts in wealth and financial security. The world is on the precipice of a remarkable demographic shift, with a flourishing middle class in Asia and the developing world set to redefine global commerce, culture, and consumption. By 2030, the Western middle class may no longer be the driving force it once was, ceding its position to the newly ascendant regions. Women's wealth surge 2030. By 2030, women are expected to control more than half of the world's wealth. This shift in financial power is attributed to their increasing presence in the workforce and changing socio-economic factors. With women generally being more cautious in financial matters, this development may lead to a rise in investments in education, healthcare, and insurance, as well as safer investing choices. Additionally, shifting gender dynamics in the workplace and an overall increase in positive attitudes toward women in leadership positions promise a more empowering future for women across the globe. The 2008 financial crisis, marked by the collapse of Lehman Brothers, scarred the global economy. One might wonder if things would have been different had it been Lehman Sisters instead. Research indicates that female brokers tend to be more cautious, while their male counterparts are more risk-prone. This distinction holds future implications as women are expected to hold over half of the world's wealth by 2030, earmarking changes in global spending habits. Increased investments in sectors traditionally favored by women, such as education, healthcare, and insurance, are likely on the horizon, as well as a preference for safer investment options like index stock funds. This shift in women's financial power stems from their growing presence in the workforce. While many women still encounter barriers to career advancement and work-life balance, there is an optimistic shift on the horizon. Factors like an aging population and low birth rates are expected to shrink the pool of eligible workers, leading businesses to rely on and value working mothers in ever greater numbers. Japan offers an illustrative example of this ongoing transformation. The country's low birth rate has prompted a return of once marginalized working mothers as their prevailing workforce. Consequently, full-time employment among working-age women has reached a record 71%. The changing landscape isn't only visible in the numbers, attitudes towards women in positions of power are evolving, too. Gallup polls demonstrate a marked shift in opinion over the years. Whereas in 1953, 66% of respondents preferred a male boss and just 4% preferred a female one, the preferences have nearly balanced out by 2017, with 23% favoring a male boss and 21% preferring a female one. This attitudinal shift, alongside the observed trends, indicates a more equal and empowering future for women worldwide. Transforming city living. Major cities across the globe are experiencing rapid increases in temperature, consumption, and pollution. With 55% of the world's population living in cities that occupy only 1% of Earth's land, the brunt of the climate crisis impact will be felt in these urban centers. Encouraging eco-friendly habits and reimagining urban living are crucial in mitigating the worsening effects of climate change. Examples of transformative solutions include promoting public transportation usage through incentives and adopting urban agriculture to reduce carbon emissions from food transportation. By pursuing green initiatives and fostering behavioral change, cities can chart a sustainable path forward amidst the growing climate crisis. Escalating climate change is a pressing concern in cities such as Paris, New York, Delhi, Shanghai, and London. Cities are vulnerable to warming, inequality, and pollution due to their high concentration of concrete and asphalt, which trap heat and contribute to global warming. Furthermore, cities consume 75% of global energy, resulting in 80% of carbon emissions and increasing the risks posed by rising sea levels. To navigate the impending climate crisis, urban living must adapt and transform. One approach involves nudging city dwellers to adopt eco-friendly habits, such as using public transportation, by offering incentives like credit card facilities and cheaper fares. This would make public transport not just an environmentally conscious choice, but also convenient and affordable. Another promising solution is urban agriculture. By growing food within cities, carbon emissions from transporting food to urban centers can be mitigated, and urban greenery can absorb additional carbon. Singapore has successfully implemented urban agriculture schemes, with companies like Sky Greens producing commercial quantities of vegetables in vertical gardens housed in urban towers. Utilizing clean technology, each tower has a low carbon footprint and costs roughly $3 per month to maintain. Furthermore, in economically challenged cities, vertical gardening can repurpose abandoned buildings and create jobs. With over 400 cities projected to house more than 1 million inhabitants by 2030, the next decade calls for behavioral change and the adoption of innovative green initiatives, like vertical gardening, to avoid disastrous consequences. Embracing future technology. Get ready for dramatic technological advancements in the next decade that will impact our everyday lives. From the widespread use of robots and artificial intelligence in the workplace to the rise of 3D printing in various industries, it is essential to prepare for these rapid changes. One such innovation already gaining traction is the waterless toilet, which has the potential to transform sanitation in developing countries and save millions of lives. Remember the futuristic world of the Jetsons? Fast forward to 2030, and although we may not be cruising in flying cars, we can certainly anticipate some exhilarating technological innovations in the coming years. In the not-too-distant future, robots and artificial intelligence will become even more integrated into our daily lives. Already, bots have replaced 2 million workers in the United States, and it's predicted that by 2030, programmers will significantly outnumber laborers in manufacturing sectors. Robots will likely venture into more cognitive fields, such as law, education, and even medicine. Imagine having robot colleagues assisting, or even outperforming, human surgeons during delicate operations. 3D printing is another technology expected to truly come into its own in the next decade. As the demand for manufacturing grows, the dependence on 3D printing will increase for producing anything from plastic components to dental materials. This innovative process offers a promising solution to sustain coastal areas affected by climate change through 3D printed infrastructure, like seawalls and artificial reefs. The construction industry has already begun to embrace 3D printing technology, with China leading the charge in printing entire houses, a breakthrough that could revolutionize disaster relief efforts. However, rapid technological advancements aren't restricted to the developed world. In many developing countries, where millions of people still lack access to basic amenities like sewer systems and indoor toilets, one game-changing innovation could significantly impact living conditions and save lives: the waterless toilet. Currently being produced by startup Drought, this remarkable invention captures human waste in biodegradable film, which is then sealed, collected, and utilized to generate electricity. This simple yet effective technology may prove to be one of the most significant and profound advancements in global sanitation. As we fast approach the next decade, it's crucial that we brace ourselves for the rapid technological transformations that lie ahead. While flying cars and robot housekeepers may still be a distant dream, the world is undoubtedly changing at an unprecedented pace, and these innovations will shape our everyday lives in ways previously unimaginable. Embrace the sharing economy. Embracing the sharing economy, where users pay for access rather than ownership, could lead to a more sustainable future. By 2030, collaborative consumption is expected to make up half of our average spending, enabling the use of products without owning them. The sharing economy is already evident through platforms like Uber and Airbnb, but it will soon extend to workspaces, crowdfunding, and peer-to-peer lending, bypassing traditional institutions. Though flexibility is valued by consumers, disadvantages include lack of benefits for freelance and temporary employees. Nevertheless, the sharing economy, by reducing overconsumption, has the potential to contribute to the planet's well-being. Remember the simplicity of a sandbox with its seemingly challenging concept of sharing toys? Well, by 2030, sharing won't just be for toys, it will be a significant part of our lives. The sharing economy is growing, and soon, we'll own less and share much more. Consider living in homes across various continents or driving cars in different cities, without actually owning them. Instead, you'll be one of many people paying a fee to access them. This idea seems to resonate well with millennials and Gen Zers, who prioritize lifestyle over property and prefer affordable access to a product rather than ownership. So, the mantra is simple: get used to sharing rather than owning. Platforms like Uber and Airbnb have already paved the way by capitalizing on the intersection of mobile app technologies and evolving consumer behavior. By 2030, half of our average spending will focus on collaborative consumption, enabling shared use of products ranging from songs to cars and workspaces. This growing trend will not be limited to physical assets. It will encompass sharing workspaces with various firms and freelancers, crowdfunding each other's expenses, and enabling peer-to-peer lending for home loans and college education, all while sidestepping traditional institutions like banks and real estate agencies. Although the sharing economy appears utopian, it is important to note its drawbacks. Flexibility is central to these platforms, benefiting consumers but disadvantaging temporary and freelance workers who may lack crucial benefits like health insurance or retirement plans. Nonetheless, embracing the sharing economy can lead to fewer possessions and reduced overconsumption. If done well, sharing could play a vital role in saving our planet. Unleashing cryptocurrency's potential. When Marco Polo first encountered paper money during his ventures in the 13th century, he was amazed by its innovative nature. Fast forward to today, and we're on the verge of another monetary revolution, the rise of cryptocurrencies. By 2030, it's predicted that cryptocurrencies will move from the fringes to become mainstream. Using Bitcoin as an example, we can see that cryptocurrencies operate through a secure and transparent system called blockchain, making them a reliable form of currency. Despite their volatility and people's reluctance to switch from traditional bank accounts, the potential uses of cryptocurrency are vast. From triggering automatic payments for services to preventing the sale of blood diamonds and bolstering the security of e-voting, embracing cryptocurrency technology can transform the way we conduct transactions and make ethical decisions.
As we wrap up the summary of 2030, how today's biggest trends will collide and reshape the future of everything, it's clear that the world we know today will be dramatically different in 2030. From the societal effects of a declining birth rate and the rising power of women in the workforce, to the shift in the global middle class and the adoption of technological innovations like cryptocurrency, our world is changing rapidly. Adapting to and embracing these changes will be essential not only for governments and businesses but also for individuals, as these transformations hold the key to the future of our planet.